Hi, I'm BZB Nolan, and welcome to my channel, Tales from the Fifth House. Today I am aiming to tap into the collective energy and hopefully deliver a message that you need to hear right now. Please keep in mind, like tarot is timeless. It picks up on past, present, and future energy. So as you're listening to this message, please take what resonates, but leave the rest. If it doesn't sound or feel like your story, then it likely isn't. However, I do invite everyone to watch with an open mind and an open heart, as even if this may not be your message, perhaps there is something you can take away and, pass along to someone who does need to hear it. So on that note, let's dive in. Just to kind of break down the structure of this reading, I'm going to start with some tarot cards. This is the Witch tarot deck for a more specific message for you all. And then we'll get some oracle cards for a more general look at the message. And we'll end off with some dice. I have some story dice and some zodiac sign dice just for more information or confirmation. So let's dive in. The cards have already been cleansed and shuffled, so we're going to get started. What is the message we need to hear today? Ooh, that one almost went in the flame, y'all. Important message. I'll flip that over in a second. Let's see. And we'll take one more card for you. What's the message? Okay, awesome. At the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands. I do like to keep note of that, so I'll just place that over to the side. But let's kind of dive in. All right, so this first card out, the card that almost fell right into the flame, which I feel like is significant, and I'll unpack that in a second, is the Empress card. So this is a major arcana card. This is the third card in the traditional tarot deck, and the Empress represents everything that like divine feminine energy would embody, if you think about it in that kind of archetype. So you have creativity, birth, like creation, literally. So that's what that would represent. You can even see the Venus sign there. So even Venus ideals, so beauty, love, just all of that energy would be represented in this card. But I think it's interesting that it almost fell into the flame. And I wonder if there's something that wants to be created or birthed through you. There's something that's trying to come through you, and maybe it's something you need to like jump into or dive into, but there's some hesitation there, and I feel like the hesitation is probably attributed to this card. So we have the Five of Pentacles here. Typically fives represent change in numerology, typically having to do with stability, security, things of that nature. This particular card, the Five of Pentacles, is represented by earth energy. So this might have to do with your materials and feeling a bit in lack, maybe feeling like you don't have enough resources, or you don't have enough of something tangible, material that perhaps you feel you need to be able to birth this creation or to bring this thing to fruition, this idea that you have, this thing that you want to create, whatever that may be. It'll look different for everybody, but I feel like the message today is that even though you feel this lack, and your circumstances might not be ideal for what it is that you're trying to bring forth, or ideal for what it is that you want to do, like that kind of inner passion. And it's so funny because we did end on the Ace of the Ace of Wands here, which wand represents fire energy. So that's like passion, also creativity, initiative. That's like action, a bit more of a masculine energy there. But I feel like the message here is that circumstances might not be ideal to kind of birth or create or nurture this thing that you want to bring forth. But I'm not going to say but, and, because that's real. And we feel that we have to be aware of our current circumstances. Like, you know, you could be walking around delusional, but I would not advise that. But I think it's okay to acknowledge that your circumstances are not exactly where you would like to be. However, and even if that might be the case, I feel like the message here is that the community is all around us to kind of support these endeavors, or this is where we should be leaning into our communities a bit more to make up for that lack, or to find those resources, those assets outside of ourselves. Perhaps that is what's going to help us be able to really tap into this Empress mode and be able to create things that we want to see in the world. I also just realized we have 2 3s, so 3 and 3. You might want to look up the number 33, or 3s might be significant to you in some way. But I do feel like, again, the message here is, yes, your circumstances may be less than ideal, and perhaps you feel like there's something that you can't do, and this is something that you really want to do, that you've been called to do, something that you're being pushed and nudged, or getting inklings that you need to kind of like do this thing. Again, what that thing is, it'll look different for everyone. But I feel like the message here is that you have that passion for a reason, and it's because you're meant to do that thing. We're all here on our own unique missions to carry out our own unique purposes. And those like, that calling doesn't go away just because you ignore it, or that calling doesn't become null and void just because your circumstances aren't ideal right now. Like, that will always be your purpose. That will always be what you're here to do. And in those moments, especially like personally speaking, I tend to want to do things on my own, of my own volition, of my own merit. However, this is not, it is an individual journey, but we're all connected, if that makes sense. And we do have communities so that we can have those reciprocal connections, and where we may lack, that is where we can lean on our community to get that extra support, and that assistance and that guidance, if that's what you need. So I feel like the overall message here is to lean in on your community, if you have one, your support system. And again, that'll look differently for everyone. But try to, try to take steps towards this passion that you have, this idea, this thing that you want to bring forth, maybe through those in your community, or through the opportunities that come to you from exploring more of your community. The 3 of Pentacles is about collaboration. If you notice, let me pull this up a little bit. So there's someone who's like, I don't know, like architect, building something, but you have some people here watching, and kind of this could be like an apprentice, or a teacher. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, there might be someone who's doing what you want to do, perhaps in your community. Perhaps now would be a good time to reach out to that person, to try to collaborate with that person, to learn from that person, to observe that person, and just like see what, get a little bit more aligned to what it is that you're trying to bring forth in your own life, so that you can get an idea. That passion doesn't go out despite circumstances. You might find yourself in a really like kind of tough spot right now. And again, that'll look differently for everyone. It could be financially, it could be within your career, but it could be in other areas as well. But I do feel like the overall message here is to be driven enough by your passion and also willing to be vulnerable enough. I noticed there are no like cup cards here, so this is very much so like earth. We have fire, but we do have the Empress, which again kind of represents she would be like all of the queens of the tarot in one. So the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, all in one. She's every woman here. And I feel like the message, again, you can, you know, really utilize your kind of creativity in a way that you're passionate about. It just might be time for a different approach, or to see how the people in your community can help you on your own mission. And if you're someone like this community, this can be an online community. It doesn't have to be in real life, you know, community, but this could be an online community. This could just like, I feel like the message here is to connect with other people who are trying to create the same thing you are. Like, find those people, connect with your soul tribe. It'll help you remain passionate, even through tough circumstances. So, right now I'm going to pull some oracle cards. We have one. Oh, we have completion. It says looking forward, dissolution, and innovation. Love it. Definitely get, you know, innovation vibes, especially from the Three of Pentacles. Like, you know, maybe talk to someone about your ideas. It can be as simple as that. Bounce some ideas off of, you know, a trusted person. But talk to people about the things that you want to create, the things that you want to do. That'll keep feeding your passion, even if you can't take the more tangible actions on this. Okay, so we'll take these. Oh, wow. I feel like this is confirmation. We have the Mother card. This is Cancer energy, intimacy, home, sensitivity is what it says. And then we have Threshold, beginning, leap, passion. And I feel like, again, more confirmation there. And then I kid you not, at the bottom of the deck, do you guys see that? We have connection. So yeah, I'm just going to cover up that card. I think YouTube has interesting guidelines. But yeah, I feel like, again, the message here is that you are kind of at this like interesting space. I'm going to put this here, this doorway, and you kind of have like two cards that they seem kind of connected. Like, if you look at it through this way, you like walk through, you're completing or going through like a tougher cycle right now. And I feel like this is connected to the last message that I recorded about there's this shift that's occurring energetically, astrologically, many socially. There's a lot of shifts just happening in our society today. And this is the time to start, you know, nurturing ourselves and taking and being a bit more, you know, how do I want to say this? I think it's time for us to start like nurturing our creativity again. And one of the ways you can do that is by, you know, obviously taking care of yourself and being in a place where you can do that. But sometimes our circumstances, we feel like, make that very hard. But the message here is like, there's something that needs to be birthed, and only you can bring that forth. Again, because there's only one you, right? So whatever this mission is, you're completing this tough cycle. And while you're completing this tough cycle, connect with other people who feel similarly like you do. Again, we have this connection card. It says bliss, love, and devotion. That was at the bottom of the deck there. So I think the message is really to, you know, put yourself out there. Like, circumstances are less than ideal right now for you to kind of bring forth this idea, but that passion is not going to go away. It's always going to be there because it's what you're here to do. It's what it's your destiny, in a sense, your purpose. And like, take the steps that you can towards that by seeking the resources that you need to make it happen outside of yourself. So how can you collaborate with others in your respective communities to bring forth the vision that you want to see? And I think that's especially relevant. I'm feeling this during Aquarius season. It is a timeless reading though, so, but that's the energy that I might be picking up on right now in this moment. And Aquariuses are the humanitarians of the zodiac sign. They find unique, innovative ways to solve, issues that affect human beings. Traditionally, that's what they're kind of known for. And community is important, especially in these tougher cycles and when we are shifting. And now would be a great time to connect with your community in innovative ways, or to like interact or engage with community in innovative ways that'll help your passions grow. Yeah. So let's pull some story cubes. I'm gonna pull 3. Oh, interesting. So we have this like magic wand. We just put it down there. We have a phone, which is interesting. I think connection again. And we have an eye. I'm getting like third eye, intuition, high priestess energy for that. So I feel like again, the message is connection. It's a really maybe magical time for you to kind of put yourself out there and start connecting with others. Maybe this is around like you being seen in new ways, or you kind of expressing new sides of yourself that maybe those in your immediate vicinity or like circle are not used to seeing. But like, embrace that, connect. This is a really magical time for you to kind of like connect with the people you're meant to connect with, resonate with the people you're meant to resonate with, because they're on the same, they're on the same vibe as you, essentially. Yeah, and I think that's only gonna fuel this passion that you have and get you closer to your purpose. And, I sometimes have to remind myself of this as well. As just someone who like kind of has lone wolf syndrome and like to just handle things on my own, just due to like, that's a hyper independence, and due to some just how I was raised and things of that nature. But like, we are human beings, and connection is super important to our survival. Like, it just is. It's in our nature to want connection and to connect with others. And I think, especially in today's society, it could be for better or worse, but you're being called to kind of connect with the former. You want to connect with people who make you better, people who share the same vision and goals and ideals as you. Because when groups come together, again, I feel like Aquarius kind of rules groups and networks and things of that nature. When people are able to connect and they all have similar purposes or similar, destinies, that's where the real magic can happen, and you can kind of create change, right? Things change. You're able to create solutions to problems and move society forward in a positive direction through connection with others sometimes. All right, lastly, I'm going to pull some zodiac dice. This is more so for additional confirmation or just like insight into what type of energy. So if your sign comes up, or sign you have in your chart, that might be extra confirmation for you. But if not, it's just keep note of the energy. We have Gemini, Virgo, and Taurus energy. Interesting. Yeah, that's Virgo. Interesting. So we have some mutable energy and some fixed energy on the board. We have Gemini and Virgo, both mutable. air, earth signs, respectively. And then we have Taurus, more fixed, grounded. So yeah, I feel like this Taurus could be related to this Five of Pentacles. So again, Taurus usually rules security, second house. It's like finances, things of that nature. So again, things might be tough or stagnant or not, just where you want them to be for you to feel most secure and comfortable. You know, kind of maybe putting yourself out there in new ways or doing things differently. But you're being asked to kind of like be like Gemini. Geminis, I think of Gemini as like the curious student, like the perpetual student. Geminis are known to really be curious about things, very much so into research and socializing even, and learning through people, connecting, communicating. So I think the message here is to really connect. Now's the time to connect with others. Put yourself out there to be seen. And there's magic that could be happening. We have Virgo energy here. Virgos are known to be like the sign of service. That's one of their kind of traits. They like to be of service in very like practical, tangible ways. And there may be people in your community right now that could offer you some advice or some guidance or something tangible that you can take that's gonna actually change. If not change, it's going to impact you deeply. That's going to have some type of like, how do I want to say this? Let me double back. Putting yourself out there and connecting with others. Again, that can be in really unique, cool, innovative ways, or it can be as simple as like, hey, I have this idea. Can I talk to you about it? Is really going to open up some doors for how you can move forward in your current situation with this idea that you have, or this calling, this nudge, this thing you want to do. The answer or the way forward is through your community at this time. So yeah, that's what I feel like the message is. Go out there, connect, be seen with others, communicate with others, socialize with others. Because there might be some inspiration just waiting for you through those interactions. Thanks for watching. I hope this message was clear and resonated. Yeah, bye.